You're a summoner? That's the weakest class in the world. The moment Lin Xiao awakened his class, everyone laughed at him. His rival called him trash. No team wanted him. No one believed he could clear a dungeon. Even a normal combat class was considered better than becoming a summoner. But they had no idea. Lin Xiao had awakened a unique S-tier talent. A talent so powerful that nobody else in the world could ever obtain it. Every single day, he gains a brand new S-rank talent. His first summon was just a tiny skeleton. Weak, pathetic, worthless. But after receiving an S-rank talent, it evolved into a terrifying Death Knight. A monster capable of slaughtering entire armies. Then his slime gained the power of endless evolution through devouring. His goblin became a master of legendary weapons. And that was only the beginning. While other people struggled to make one summon stronger, Lin Xiao gave countless S-rank talents to all of his summons. Every day they evolved. Every day they grew stronger. Every day they became more terrifying. Geniuses, prodigies, heroes, none of them could even defeat his weakest summon. Then the abyss descended upon the world. Demon gods appeared. Ancient monsters awakened. Even the gods themselves looked down upon humanity. But when humanity stood on the edge of extinction, one man stepped forward. Behind him stood an army powerful enough to shake heaven and earth. An army of death knights, ancient beasts, divine creatures, and beings powerful enough to rival gods. The world finally realized one terrifying truth. The strongest army was never an army. The strongest kingdom was never a kingdom. It was one summoner, and his summons. This is the story of Lin Xiao, the summoner who turned the weakest class into the strongest existence in the world. Week 1 8-hour video will be uploaded. All novels uploaded here are completed, so you will get a full story without searching or waiting. I have listened to the translated version on web, and there are no major problems with translation. If you want Chinese novel translated, give me the original name of the novel and I will respond to your request as soon as possible. Please make sure your request is on the latest video. If you hear this "u" sound in the novel, it means either question mark or some space is left, like getting materials or experience gain there more but not shown. If after a name is used and after there is silence, it means exclamation marks were used as in shock. I don't know if this will happen in recorded one, but it happened in web version. Chapter 302. Serena, after she and Curse Frost tried to kill him and were repelled, she never appeared again. Of course, it might also be related to Nan Wanqing entering the abyss. He once thought Serena was dead, but he didn't expect her to still be thinking of him. If he were to encounter her again, Lin Xiao could confidently tell himself that he no longer feared her, even without dark attribute damage immunity. But now there are 2 level 70 bosses here, and Serena has reached level 73, so the pressure is immense. Moreover, since she dared to come, she must have a countermeasure. Who are you? Mabe and I, who had been thrown back onto the train, was full of anger. He was stunned when he saw the other party. Then his eyes darted around, and he immediately understood what was happening. You're also here to get revenge on him, right? Let's team up and kill him. This guy is too evil. As a pirate leader, he still had this much discernment and ability to read people. He immediately understood that the woman in front of him was here to seek revenge on Lin Xiao, even though he didn't know why. Serena glanced at Mabe and I, cast a dark enhanced spell, and immediately healed his injuries. Mabe and I instantly felt his body filled with strength and let out an excited roar. Good. Good. So you're a mage? That's even better. Serena looked at Lin Xiao, a cruel smile curling at the corner of her lips. Lin Xiao, to get rid of you, I specifically went to learn magic from other systems. With that, she uttered obscure and difficult to understand incantations. In an instant, a strange power permeated the carriage, making everyone feel very uncomfortable. Mabe and I was the first to react, pulling away from Serena, and exclaimed in horror, "A curse! A curse!" Lin Xiao was also stunned. His previously solemn expression relaxed a bit, and a smile played on his lips. He almost couldn't help but laugh out loud. When she killed Curse Frost, she must have plundered his abilities. But now, 5 signs of decay. The 4 cold words came out of Serena's mouth. In an instant, a sense of powerlessness arose from the bottom of his heart. But in the next second, this powerlessness vanished without a trace, replaced by surging power. Heart of Reversal triggered. Curse. 5 signs of decay transformed into body strengthening. It wasn't over yet. Serena released several more curses. Heart of Reversal triggered. Curse. Bad luck bloodlight transformed into continuous good fortune. Heart of Reversal triggered. Curse. Bone-piercing curse transformed into soul enhancement. Ew. All of Serena's curses were converted into beneficial effects. Lin Xiao was overjoyed, but he feigned a weak and pained expression. Humph. Get rid of him. Serena gave the command coldly. Mabe and I was annoyed by her tone, but seeing that she could use curses, and his own anger towards Lin Xiao, he temporarily chose to obey her command. Kid, you have your day too. Die for me. Mabe and I immediately launched an attack, swinging his bloody pirate hook towards Lin Xiao, intending to tear his head from his neck. The Death God Knight stepped forward, his scythe slashing out fiercely. Humph! Courting death. Mabe and I sneered. He had now recovered, and with the opponent afflicted by curses, how could he be his match? Bang! A violent collision sound rang out, and Mabe and I was repelled, his face full of shock. Serena, who was behind him, also frowned, saying coldly, "Is he trash?" "No. How does he still have such powerful strength?" Mabe and I was incredulous. After clashing for so long before, he had sustained some injuries. Now that he had recovered, and the opponent was cursed, how could he still withstand his attacks? The Death God Knight said nothing, simply launching attacks relentlessly. Mabe and I hastily responded, realizing that the Death God Knight's combat power was even stronger than before. Another bloody mark was cut across his chest, and Mabe and I couldn't help but turn his head and ask, "Did you really cast a curse on him? How can he still have such combat power after being cursed?" Serena also sensed that something was amiss and thought, could it be that the owner being cursed doesn't affect the summoned beast? With that thought, she once again chanted obscure and difficult to understand incantations. A purple skull condensed above the Death God Knight's head, let out a strange hee-hee laugh, and then transformed into a cloud of purple mist, sprinkling down on his head. The curse has taken effect. As long as an attack hits him, my curse will devour his flesh and soul, Serena said viciously. Heart of Reversal triggered. Curse. Physical/soul torment transformed into physical/soul amplification. The notification sounded in Lin Xiao's ear. "I'll trust you one more time." Mabe and I roared to boost his morale and attacked again. Bang! The two clashed again, and Mabe and I clearly felt the Death God Knight's strength increase once more. This time, he watched as the opponent gained a boost. Is this a curse? You're clearly buffing the other side. I know you're one of his people, aren't you? You're deliberately targeting me. Mabe and I roared, feeling he had been played, like a clown being spun around by the two of them. Serena also noticed this strange scene. No, I clearly cast a curse on him. Why is this happening? Serena, refusing to believe it, released another curse. As the curses were continuously released, the strength of Lin Xiao and the Death God Knight kept increasing. "You scoundrel, you're with them." Mabe and I was enraged, enduring the Death God Knight's attack and firing a cannonball at Serena. Serena hastily dodged, having no time to complain. Instead, she looked at Lin Xiao in horror, recalling his special immunity to dark lock damage, and made a bold guess in her heart. You can immune my curses? No, that's not right. You can convert my curses into positive effects. She didn't know why Lin Xiao had such an ability, and she even refused to believe he had such a monstrous ability. But after casting so many curses, and each one enhancing him, she had no choice but to consider that possibility. Lin Xiao smiled slightly. "Did you only just realize? Your hard-learned curses seem to have no effect on me." Serena's face turned pale with anger, her fingers clenching white. Don't be too smug. I had already anticipated special circumstances. Serena suddenly roared, her voice hoarse, and then a ball of flame ignited behind her. Not only did I learn curses, but I also learned fire magic. You didn't expect that, did you? I had already foreseen special circumstances. Ha ha ha. Burn to ashes for me. Black flames mixed with Serena's fury rushed over, intending to incinerate everything here. Lin Xiao did not dodge, allowing the flames to engulf him. Humph. Good thing I made extra preparations. Serena sneered coldly, but in the next second, her sneer froze on her face. Lin Xiao walked out of the flames, casually patting out the burning fire on his body, looking at her with a mocking posture. Is that all? Chapter 303. The evil dragon equipment's effect allowed Lin Xiao to be immune to one type of elemental damage, so Serena's flames naturally couldn't harm him in the slightest. I finally see it. You're just a tool this human found to humiliate me. Mabe and I could no longer hold back and roared at Serena. All her abilities were useless against this human in front of her. Was he treating her like a fool? He wasn't even pretending. Serena ignored Mabe's taunt and looked at Lin Xiao in horror. Why? Why are you still immune to fire damage? After making so many preparations, even going so far as to learn magic and curses from other systems, cultivating in seclusion for several months just to wipe away her past humiliation, only to get this result. Wouldn't all her efforts these past few months have been in vain? Looking at Serena's horrified, disbelieving expression, Lin Xiao was very satisfied. After pestering me for so long, it's time to get rid of you. Being constantly targeted by Serena was ultimately a hidden danger, and he didn't know when she would pop up again. So Lin Xiao decided to eliminate her here. If he missed this opportunity, it would be difficult to encounter it again. Meanwhile, on top of the train, giant octopus tentacles tightly wrapped around the train, severely slowing its forward speed. Where do these giant octopus tentacles come from? The dungeon information didn't mention them, and Yuan Kuei cast a fusion skill, cooking the octopus tentacle, then kicked it off the train. But as soon as he destroyed one octopus tentacle, more octopus tentacles attacked from the depths of the Black Sea, firmly binding the train. I don't know. This is the first time I've encountered this situation, Sikong said. Before the octopus tentacles appeared, I heard a howl. It's possible that the crocodile chief summoned them. Which crocodile can summon these tentacles? I can't do it. And Yuan Kuei was skeptical. No matter what, let's clear these tentacles first. Otherwise the train might be left in the Black Sea by these tentacles. And Lin Zhao's situation doesn't seem very optimistic. Qin Chuan's expression was grave. I sense another powerful monster has appeared where he is. Boom! As the three quickly cleared the octopus tentacles on the train suddenly vibrated violently. The three looked over and saw an imprint not far ahead. A giant crocodile imprint. This! And Yuan Kuei frowned. This outline looks a bit like that crocodile chief. It's not just like, it is him, Sikong said with certainty. TSK, TSK, TSK. A top-tier player is really fierce, even able to fight a level 70 boss. And Yuan Kuei couldn't help but admire him. The god of war allowing Lin Xiao to team up with them for this abyss dungeon definitely meant he recognized his strength. But he didn't expect his strength to be so great that he could even fight a level 70 boss. At this moment, the ancient tome in Sikong's hand quickly flipped through, saying, I've found the source of the tentacles. It comes from a seed deep in the Black Sea. We just need to destroy it. Seed. Qin Chuan frowned. Since we know the source, it's easy. Let's solve it quickly. The ghost mist behind the train isn't far from us. Mabe and I fell from the top of the train, covered in wounds. The crocodile scales on his body were scattered everywhere, and some wounds revealed his bones. The cooperation of the Snow Girl doll and the others made Mabe and I difficult to parry, mainly because their teamwork was too good, leaving him no weaknesses to exploit. On the other side, the Death God Knight fought Serena alone. With his dark damage immunity, he was exactly Serena's bane. Successfully killed Mabe and I boss. EXP plus 1 million. Obtained. Pirate cannon, weapon a legendary, *1, crocodile scale, material, *10, black pearl bird summon, consumable, *5, crocodile treasure chest *3, pirate treasury map *1. Congratulations, your level has increased to 53. The crocodile pirate was completely killed. The Death God Knight's talent was triggered, granting him a huge boost. Coupled with the curses cast by Serena transforming into beneficial buffs, he already completely suppressed Serena in terms of aura, let alone strength. Lin Xiao. Serena also gritted her teeth. She realized that ever since she met him, her luck had never been good, and now she was about to face death. Today, let's settle all scores, both new and old. Death God Knight. The Death God Knight's speed was unimaginably fast, reaching Serena in the blink of an eye. His scythe, emanating a chilling aura of death, slashed down directly. Blood stained the train car floor. Serena stared at Lin Xiao with a face full of hatred, then suddenly burst out laughing. Question mark. Lin Xiao was puzzled. A bit hard to accept. Has she gone mad? Lin Xiao, do you really think I have no backup plan? Serena laughed loudly and pulled out a strange black crystal, within which flowed an eerie power. Before I came, Lord Darkborn Archdemon had already met with me and left me a life-saving item. I never thought I'd have to use it on you. Bang! The crystal was crushed, and Serena said ferociously, "Go to hell, accept the Archdemon's judgment." The moment the crystal was crushed, Qin Chuan and the others felt a terrifying power rapidly condensing. Qin Chuan was shocked. It's the Archdemon's power. And Yuan Kuei's expression also changed. The Archdemon infiltrated this train? Lin Xiao is fighting the Archdemon? Why didn't he call us? Qin Chuan. Let's go save him first. First, deal with these octopus tentacles. We're just one step away. Are we going to give up now? Since he can fight the Archdemon for so long, he must have some special means. If we give up now, we'll miss the chance to destroy the seed. Sikong immediately stopped the two of them, and at the same time sent out a paper bird to confirm Lin Xiao's situation. The black power within the crystal was released, quickly condensing into a sharp arrow in mid-air, which shot out at an extremely fast speed. Lin Xiao's chest was quickly pierced through, without even a chance to react. His life force disappeared at an alarming rate, and in less than a second, he collapsed. This life-saving item was specially refined by the Darkborn Archdemon to deal with War Chief and others, containing his full-strength attack. When released, it would instantly obliterate the target in front of it, achieving an unexpected effect. Ha 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 ha, I told you you're going to die today. What a pity for what was given to me. Serena laughed wildly, feeling incredibly pleased, but in the next second, the expression on her face froze. Lin Xiao, who had fallen to the ground and seemed utterly dead, actually stood up. A hole in the clothes on his chest proved that the attack just now had not missed, truly piercing through his body. No, impossible. Why aren't you dead? Serena shrieked. She was going crazy. She couldn't accept it, couldn't accept such a result. Lin Xiao brushed off the dust on his clothes and said, "Haven't you heard of the resurrection spell? This is the power of Lord Darkborn Archdemon. Even a resurrection spell can't revive you." Serena shrieked. Lin Xiao smiled slightly. "Then perhaps your Darkborn Archdemon is too weak." Chapter 304. The Abyss, Darkborn Demon Fortress. Serena is dead. The Darkborn Archdemon spoke in a cold voice, releasing terrifying killing intent from his eyes. During this time, his capable subordinates were killed one by one. Only 3 remained, and now that Serena was dead, only 2 were left. What? Serena is dead? Was she killed by that wolf? The war chief, Kograf, the abyssal demon who was cultivating lightning magic, was filled with shock. This is simply too much. What do they take us for? Hyenas that anyone can kill? Matza spoke in a cold voice. Ripples faintly appeared in the surrounding space, which gradually twisted and deformed. The Darkborn Archdemon's expression was volatile. After a moment, he spoke coldly. "No, she died in an abyss dungeon? She was killed by a human expert. Kogrif and Matza were stunned, asking in unison, Serena died in an abyss dungeon? Impossible. Kogrif shook his head. Even if the human expert was stronger than Serena, she had the treasure given by the master, which is enough to instantly kill any creature below level 80. How could she? But she is dead. The Darkborn archdemon coldly interrupted Kogrif. Silence fell within the hall. They were once infinitely glorious. Who in the abyss dared to bully them? But now only the three of them remained, hiding here like stray dogs. Master. Matza was the first to break the silence. Is the Archduke of Demons ignoring us? Were we abandoned, left for that wolf to hunt? The three Archdukes of Demons jointly governed the abyss. But now there was an extra demon named War Chief. He didn't belong to any faction and had begun to carve up their territory in the abyss. I have already informed the Archduke of Demons of our situation, but I have not received any reply from him. Master, we might have become sacrificial pawns. Think about when the Archduke of Demons raised an army to occupy human territories before. They must have reached some agreement. We can't continue like this. We must fight back. Kogrif was overwhelmed with grief and indignation. If even the Archduke of Demons behind them didn't care about them, then only death awaited them. Just as the Darkborn archdemon was about to speak, the space suddenly twisted, and a seed fell in front of him. The Darkborn archdemon was startled and hurried over, intending to pick up the seed. But as soon as he got close, he felt a terrifying power of curse. It's Lord Erebos. He hasn't abandoned us. The Darkborn archdemon shouted excitedly. A moment later, a message entered his ears. Yes, Master, I understand. If they dare to come, I will ensure they never return. The Darkborn archdemon respectfully bowed toward the direction of Erebos, then grabbed the terrifying seed and swallowed it. After successfully killing Serena, Lin Xiao organized the combat power he had gained. I must say, the experience gained from a level 70 abyss monster is massive. Leveling up after killing just one is incredibly satisfying. He was now level 54 and would soon be able to initiate class awakening. Dark magic forbidden curse. The gun didn't drop anything good either. Didn't she learn curses? Why didn't any related items drop? Lin Xiao was slightly depressed. If he could obtain a curse-type item, even if he didn't use it on enemies, he could use it to apply a buff to himself, which would be very convenient. Perhaps her amateur curse skills were just too low-level. Lin Xiao thought so directly. Boom! The train shook violently. Lin Xiao could feel that the octopus tentacles restraining the train had been cleared, and it had returned to its previous speed. Lin Xiao, how are you? At that moment, Qin Chuan climbed in through the window and quickly asked about Lin Xiao's condition. Ha! Qin Chuan's sudden appearance surprised Lin Xiao. I'm fine. Qin Chuan glanced at the carriage. There wasn't a single intact spot left, but the only saving grace was that people could still stand. Did you run into an archdemon? Did he get away? Qin Chuan quickly asked for details. Archdemon? Lin Xiao immediately understood what Qin Chuan was worried about and explained the situation. So it was an abyssal demon. I thought you had run into an archdemon. Qin Chuan immediately sighed in relief. You kid, you're capable. You can even handle an abyssal demon now. A paper bird flew out from Qin Chuan's collar, and then in Yuan Kuei's voice came from inside, full of surprise. Lin Xiao gave a wry smile and explained, he's an old enemy, and my abilities happen to counter him perfectly. Otherwise, I really wouldn't have been able to handle it. Dark magic, curses, and fire magic. The first two were completely countered by him, and the latter was countered by the evil dragon equipment. Naturally, dealing with him was easy. No matter what, victory was achieved through strength, and Yuan Kuei said. After a brief exchange of information about both sides, Sikong took over from Yuan Kuei and said, we will soon reach the dungeon boss, but because we triggered an Abyss dungeon quest, killing the Abyss dungeon boss might not allow us to leave the dungeon immediately, so I want to ask for your opinion. Giant Spirit, Baloo, the final boss of the Netherworld train dungeon. He holds the materials I must obtain. Is the final boss outside the train? How can I meet up with you? Lin Xiao did not answer Sikong's question but instead asked about the issue concerning himself. This? Sikong was momentarily speechless. At this point, Qin Chuan took over from Sikong and said, Lin Xiao, there is no way to get outside the train from inside unless you clear the dungeon. Lin Xiao, does this mean he can't participate in killing the boss? How would he obtain the materials then? Qin Chuan explained, the result of our discussion before entering the dungeon was mainly that we were afraid your strength wasn't enough. So we arranged for you to stay inside the carriage, and the three of us would deal with the dungeon boss. So, Lin Xiao understood. They were afraid he would die at the hands of the boss. I understand. Lin Xiao knew their intentions. However, he was currently the train guardian and could sense the status of the train. Perhaps there was a way to get onto the train roof. I have some consumables here that you can use during the boss fight. Lin Xiao handed the consumables he had just opened from the treasure chest to Qin Chuan. He had many consumables himself and didn't need so many. Moreover, this counted as a favor. If they killed the boss and dropped the materials he needed, he would have a chance to trade for them. All right. Qin Chuan accepted them without formality. You need to be careful too. After all, the dungeon has changed. We don't know what anomalies might appear inside the carriage once the boss fight starts. Got it. Qin Chuan left, and Lin Xiao returned to the engine room, attempting to find a way to the roof. Soon, he found a route map inside the train. It showed the areas the train was scheduled to pass through. The place where the train will stop to load cargo is. His finger landed on the route map and moved forward along the train's trajectory. Aiden Station? Chapter 305. The first time he entered the engine room, he was worried about the pirates of the Black Sea, so he hadn't noticed that there were other documents left here. Looking at the route map above, the train would stop at Aiden Station to resupply and pick up personnel before setting off again for the Celestial Realm. There's even a supply manifest. Lin Xiao quickly searched and found a supply manifest, or more accurately, a weapon manifest, listing various weapons to be transported to the Celestial Realm. Railguns, laser guns, flamethrowers, core reactors, mechanical soldier operating modules. Lin Xiao was stunned for a moment looking at the weapons listed. These thermal weapons seemed quite advanced. The so-called Celestial Realm isn't what I imagined. It's a world known for its technology. A strange expression crossed Lin Xiao's face. The Celestial Realm. Just hearing the name suggested an extraordinary place. A world filled with spirit beasts and rampant magic. It was hard to imagine them dealing with high-tech, sophisticated thermal weapons. Have times changed? Can mages not beat those who use guns? So they came here to stock up. Lin Xiao guessed. The Celestial Realm, where the train was headed, remained an unknown territory. Since Aiden Station has so many high-tech weapons, maybe I can get some for the ancient mechanical ox? Lin Xiao pondered. He was currently the train's guardian. A batch of weapons would soon be transported to the Celestial Realm via the train. During the journey, he should be able to access these weapons freely, and even taking some wouldn't be an issue. But considering the dungeon mission, doing so might lead to mission failure. Thus, he decided to see if he could acquire some weapons at Aiden Station to equip the ancient mechanical ox. The ancient mechanical ox's special talent allowed it to assemble various weapons from machinery, and it could also be equipped with weapons. If I can, I'll find a chance to get some. It could greatly enhance the ancient mechanical ox's firepower output. Lin Xiao made his decision. Although he currently had many powerful summoned beasts, he still felt it wasn't enough. Putting the weapon manifest aside, Lin Xiao looked at the boarding list. There were over 50 people, all non-commissioned officers, not ordinary soldiers. Although he couldn't understand how their ranks were differentiated, he could sense that they were not weaklings. Are they specifically coming here to train? Lin Xiao was puzzled but didn't dwell on it, then put the personnel list aside. The train's final destination was the Abyss Netherworld, but the current outcome was increasingly deviating from that direction. Did I resolve the danger in the Black Sea, causing the final outcome to change? Or did the Wyjixian incident not happen? Lin Xiao wasn't sure, but no matter what, he would deal with problems as they came. For now, he needed to find a way to get to the roof. He couldn't miss the dungeon's boss battle. Sensing the train's status, Lin Xiao searched for an entrance to the roof. He believed this entrance must exist, as the roof required maintenance. The train is about to depart from the Black Sea echoing tide. There will be turbulence. Please sit down and hold on tight. With a rumble, the violent jolting shook the train, making it seem as if all the carriages were about to derail. This also interrupted Lin Xiao's perception of the train. Congratulations on successfully leaving the Black Sea echoing tide. Train damage level 10%. As the train's guardian, you successfully protected the train from attacks by Black Sea creatures and pirates. Reward: Universal Mechanical Gear, Material, *10, Energy Engine Oil, Consumable, *10, Advanced Flamethrower, Consumable, *1. Lin Xiao was surprised to receive extra rewards, but his face was full of question marks when he saw the items. What in the world are these things? Lin Xiao was dumbfounded. The universal mechanical gears could replace missing weapon parts, the engine oil was a consumable for mechanical soldiers, and the flamethrower was just an ordinary spray gun. Perhaps because it was labeled advanced, it could spray 500 meters. But what good was that? It would have been fine just to give some consumables and materials. Lin Xiao shook his head speechlessly. Since it was a dungeon reward, he had no choice but to accept it. The universal gears and flamethrower might be useful for the ancient mechanical ox. As for the energy engine oil, he would treat it as a way to improve its diet. Your position has been upgraded. You have become the deputy train conductor. As no new guardian has been appointed, you have become the train's deputy train conductor and guardian. Since the new train conductor has not yet taken office, you are temporarily acting as the train conductor and retaining the duties of the train guardian. The notification sounded again, and Lin Xiao's identity changed once more. I got a promotion? Lin Xiao's eyes lit up. A promotion? Did this mean he had more authority over the train? Wait, it should be all of it. After all, he was now the train conductor, even if only acting. He should possess the rights of a train conductor. After receiving the new position, Lin Xiao's perception of the train's status became clearer. He could also sense the situation of Qin Chuan and the others on the train roof. Good. Now I have a way to go up. Lin Xiao was delighted. The promotion was quite useful. Moreover, not only could he sense the situation of Qin Chuan and the others, but he could also sense that their current identity was that of train attendants. Train mission. You have become the acting train conductor. Repair the damaged parts of the train, or clear the filth remaining on the train roof. You may choose one to complete. This must be my solo mission. Is the filth remaining on the train roof the final boss? Giant spirit, Bulu? This is perfect. Someone handed him a pillow just as he wanted to sleep. Not only could he get onto the roof to participate in the boss battle, but killing it would also grant him extra rewards. Couldn't get any better. As for repairing the damaged parts of the train, he would leave that for now. After all, the damage only accounted for 10% of the train. As long as it could run, it was fine. He left the engine room and headed towards a hidden door on the train, which allowed him to access the train roof. If he hadn't become the acting train conductor, he wouldn't have discovered that place. The train roof. Waves of resentful and evil aura emanated from the roof of the last carriage. The air there felt incredibly viscous, causing a deeply uncomfortable sensation. We finally made it. The ghost mist behind us is catching up quickly. And Yuan Kuei glanced at the boss's location ahead, then looked back at the approaching ghost mist. We have about 2 hours left. The barrier crystal is all used up. Lin Xiao might still have some. After all, his progress was much faster than ours. Just as Sikong finished speaking, they saw a door panel on the roof of the boss's carriage slide open, and an unbelievable figure stepped out. Lin Xiao? The three spoke in unison. Oh, hello there. Lin Xiao waved, but the next second, he felt a deadly crisis strike from behind him. He quickly turned around and saw a large blob of black sludge-like creature appear beside him, opening its huge mouth to reveal snowy white fangs and lunging down fiercely. Lin Xiao's mind went blank for a moment. This doorway actually led directly to the boss room. Could they really play it like this? Chapter 306. Giant Spirit. Bulu suddenly appeared at Lin Xiao's waist and bit him fiercely. Feeling as if his kidney had been bitten off, and before he could even retaliate, this black sludge creature burrowed underground and escaped to another location. That really hurts. Lin Xiao clutched his wound and immediately began to treat himself. Who would have thought that the exit of the passage inside the train would be the location of the boss? Death God Knight immediately emerged from the carriage, his eyes under the mask fiercely terrifying, his anger clearly palpable. Lin Xiao immediately treated himself, but the speed of healing couldn't keep up with the rate of blood loss. Did that bite hit a major artery? Lin Xiao glanced at his status, and the dazzling word bleeding appeared. He then remembered that the information given by the god of war mentioned that being bitten by giant spirit Bulu would cost half a life, and he needed to be extremely careful. Having experienced it firsthand, it was indeed true. If he didn't have high HP, he probably wouldn't have lasted 5 seconds. Slime purify. Lin Xiao immediately called out the slime. Ordinary healing methods couldn't remove the bleeding status giant spirit Bulu inflicted on him. Only by having the slime use a forbidden curse could it be resolved. Snow Girl Doll, Nine-Tailed Celestial Fox, and Death God Knight charged together towards the train's final boss. Giant Spirit, Bulu. Level 70. Quality, Epic. An aggregation of resentment and evil. It boarded the train from an unknown place, occupied a section, released evil energy to pollute the train, and then killed the train conductor, turning him into an evil wandering soul on the train. Snow Girl Doll quickly released cold air to form an ice domain, and the nine-tailed celestial fox also transformed into an ice attribute, her foxtails emitting clusters of dark blue flames that blasted towards the opponent. Giant Spirit Bulu didn't dodge either. Its black muddy arms plunged into the ground, and black fists emerged from the ground, blocking all of the nine-tailed celestial fox's attacks. Subsequently, its red eyes suddenly flickered, and the ice domain released by the Snow Girl Doll was immediately covered by black mud. This was its territory, so how could it allow others to seize it? Death God Knight charged in front of Giant Spirit Bulu, and the pitch-black scythe in his hand slashed down fiercely. Giant Spirit Bulu still didn't dodge, taking the blow with its body. Then, a series of laughter echoed in the Death God Knight's ear, and the next second he saw its body suddenly open a massive mouth, intending to swallow the Death God Knight. Follow! Lin Xiao immediately summoned the Death God Knight back to his side. He believed Giant Spirit Bulu's bite wouldn't instantly kill the Death God Knight, but he had a vague bad feeling, so summoning him back was safer. The sky rumbled, and four elemental forces merged: wind, thunder, fire, and ice intertwining. They fell in the form of a seed onto Giant Spirit Bulu's head, exploding into a powerful elemental storm. A dragon's roar echoed across the sky, and a dragon's whisker with a star-marked trajectory spit down from the air, completely engulfing Giant Spirit Bulu like a dimensional strike. It was in Yuan Kuei's magic and Qin Chuan's dragon. Lin Xiao, are you all right? Xikong immediately came to Lin Xiao and asked about his condition, as he had just seen Lin Xiao get bitten by the opponent. I'm fine, it's already healed. Lin Xiao stated that he was fine. With the slime's forbidden curse healing, the bleeding was quickly suppressed. That's good. By the way, how did you come out of that place? Xikong was puzzled. Lin Xiao gave a bitter smile. I didn't know this door inside the train would lead here. If he had known beforehand, he would have been more careful. Anyway, let's deal with the boss in front of us first. Xikong didn't chat much and joined in Yuan Kuei and Qin Chuan in battle. Even though they were confident in winning, it was still a dungeon boss, so they didn't dare to be careless. Okay. Xikong joined the battlefield, and Lin Xiao observed his fighting style. He was a mage class, but unlike typical mages, his magic seemed to be entirely stored in his book. He would throw out spells one by one, like retrieving items from a magical pouch. What an amazing class! Can it store magic of all elements? Lin Xiao murmured curiously. Yes. Xikong heard him and answered Lin Xiao's question. Magic of all elements? Healing magic? and even forbidden curses can be sealed in the book and taken out for use when needed. Sikong explained while pressing his palm on a page of the book, and magic appeared out of thin air, smashing towards giant spirit, Bulu. How convenient! Lin Xiao couldn't help but exclaim. It's not as good as your summoned beasts, which are truly diverse. Sikong glanced at Death God Knight and the others fighting on the front line. Despite the level difference, all three of them possessed extraordinary combat power. Facing a level 70 Abyss boss, they weren't at a disadvantage. If it were a normal summoner's summoned beast, it would have been killed by a single punch from Giant Spirit, Bulu long ago. You are the most special summoner I've ever seen, even though this is a generally recognized trash class. Sikong didn't mean to disparage Lin Xiao's class. This had always been the consensus, as this class was subject to many restrictions. Perhaps my talent is just better. Lin Xiao smiled slightly. At this moment, a terrifying elemental fluctuation came. It was in Yuan Kuei's fusion elemental magic. The fusion of 4 elements could produce immense power. The 9-tailed celestial fox also possessed the ability of elemental fusion, even 3 more than in Yuan Kuei. She could perform 7-element fusion magic, but she wasn't very proficient yet. And Yuan Kuei's class was a very ordinary mage class, but due to his talent, he could master 3 more spells than a typical mage, making him considerably stronger and his combat power even more terrifying. He had also seen Qin Chuan's fighting style. After completing his class awakening, he received the favor of the Star God, and his strength became even greater. At this moment, a series of echoing sounds resonated from all directions, forming a special reverberation. Be careful, it's Giant Spirit, Bulu's roar. Getting hit by it will cause a lot of pain. And Yuan Kuei quickly warned. As soon as his voice fell, waves of ripples swept over, and cracks appeared on the train's roof. Lin Xiao immediately dodged. The train looked dilapidated, but he knew its strength well. Giant Spirit, Bulu's attack was not weak. However, just as they dodged, Giant Spirit, Bulu suddenly burrowed underground. It's Giant Spirit, Bulu's bite. Lin Xiao shouted a warning. He was very familiar with this move. He had been bitten severely when he first entered. Giant Spirit, Bulu lurked, then appeared beside Yuan Kuei, its gaping maw biting down directly. Beast, take a lightning bomb from me. And Yuan Kuei was prepared. The moment Giant Spirit, Bulu appeared beside him, he used wind magic to push himself away, simultaneously throwing a lightning bomb into its mouth. Boom! Thunder roared, golden electric arcs danced in its mouth, and it let out pained wails. Human, you seek death. Giant Spirit, Bulu spoke human words for the first time. The next second, for pitch-black pillars fell from the sky, and the author released black chains to seal it, with a large character seal imprinted on its body. Its self-metamorphosis. Interrupted quickly. Back then, the god of war and sword saints suffered greatly because they let it complete its self-metamorphosis without knowing. We cannot let it complete it. Chapter 307. Incomprehensible incantations poured out of Giant Spirit, Bulu's mouth. The black pillars in his 4 corners lit up with a purple halo, and the evil aura continuously grew before being poured into his body. Humans, you cannot stop me. His blood-red eyes, wrapped in black mud, stared at the 4 people, including Lin Xiao. Black phantoms emerged, looking exactly like Giant Spirit, Bulu. The phantoms opened their massive, blood-red mouths and charged, swallowing everything in their path. And Yuan Kuei quickly dodged, simultaneously condensing magic and blasting it towards Giant Spirit, Bulu, who was undergoing self-evolution. With a boom, a purple light barrier intercepted the fused magic, and Giant Spirit, Bulu did not suffer much damage. This shield is actually so tough? And Yuan Kuei frowned, quickly evading the charging phantom. Ha ha ha! Ignorance! Giant Spirit, Bulu sneered. The constantly charging phantoms became faster, reaching a speed that made them difficult to approach. Destroy it in the air. Sikong shouted loudly. A magic spell flew out of his book and landed on the 4 individuals, granting them the ability to fly. The four quickly ascended. Giant Spirit, Bulu's phantoms could only move on the ground. Although their massive size gave them some height, as long as they flew high enough, they would be safe. Lin Xiao flew high into the sky, followed closely by the Snow Girl doll and the nine-tailed celestial fox, as they inherently possessed the ability to fly. As for the Death God Knight, it was even simpler. He directly summoned a flying bone steed from Hell's Gate and rose into the air. Star Dragon Breath. Qin Chuan did not borrow Xikong's power. Instead, he rode his red dragon and immediately ordered it to attack. The terrifying dragon breath, carrying the power of the star god, was spewed towards Giant Spirit Bulu, carving out a horrifying yet brilliant galaxy. Ah, damn humans! The dragon breath seemed to have strong penetrating power, causing white smoke to rise from Giant Spirit Bulu's body and creating tiny cracks on the black pillars. 5 phases thunder. Xikong released a spell from his book. The sky immediately roared with thunder, which continuously struck Giant Spirit Bulu below. Since Giant Spirit Bulu was undergoing self-evolution, he could not dodge the attacks and could only endure them. These attacks are nothing more than a tickle, Giant Spirit Bulu uttered in a deep voice. The sky suddenly grew cold, and a powerful blizzard descended, threatening to freeze Giant Spirit Bulu. Mere ice and snow cannot freeze. Just as Giant Spirit Bulu finished speaking, it noticed that its body was gradually stiffening. It immediately realized something was wrong. Impossible! With the protection of the demonic iron pillars, how could this? In the face of my ice and snow, your protection is worthless. Lin Xiao sneered. The Snow Girl doll possesses a god-level freezing talent. Even if Giant Spirit Bulu's level was higher than hers and he had protection, she could still freeze him. That is how domineering she is. Ice Waterfall Divine Art. Hell's ice storm that splits the void. 2 great ice-type forbidden curses were continuously released. The terrifying frost power instantly covered him, and the pillar that had tiny cracks subsequently shattered. Good! And Yuan Kuei shouted excitedly. Destroying the first pillar meant they could destroy the second. As long as all the black pillars were destroyed, stopping Giant Spirit Bulu from completing his self-evolution, defeating him would be a certainty. Don't even think about succeeding. The sound of a heart beating suddenly echoed in the sky. Then, eyes opened one by one, staring at Lin Xiao and the others. Its abyss stare. Qin Chuan shouted a warning. At that moment, Xikong spoke. Just leave this to me. Focus all your strength on interrupting its self-evolution. The pages of the book in his hand flipped rapidly, releasing defensive spells one after another. Lin Xiao and the other 2 no longer chose to defend, but began to attack with full force. The self-evolution that even the God of War found troublesome, although the God of War was not as strong back then, was enough to prove that Giant Spirit Bulu's self-evolution would definitely lead to a massive power increase. Boom, boom, boom. The eyes in the sky began to blink frantically, blasting out terrifying energy fluctuations, but all were blocked by Xikong's defensive magic. Xikong remained calm and composed, continuously flipping through the book in his hand as if he could never reach the end, throwing out defensive spells one after another. Lin Xiao's Snow Girl and Fox are magic-type summoned beasts, right? Let me borrow them. My talent resonates with elements. When fused with them, it can unleash greater power. Lend me the elemental power of your summoned beasts. After Yuan Kuei finished speaking, a special fluctuation emanated from his body. Just let the elemental power fall upon me. The Snow Girl doll and the 9-tailed celestial fox looked at Lin Xiao. After receiving his permission, they immediately released freezing power and their own 7 elements. Such powerful freezing force. Your fox actually controls 7 elements. That's insane. And Yuan Kuei felt extremely calm after receiving the elemental particles into his body. Not only was that Snow Girl doll incredibly powerful, but the 9-tailed celestial fox terrifyingly controlled 7 types of elemental power. Alright, watch me blast that black pillar to pieces. And Yuan Kuei began fusing the elements. With the blessing of the Snow Girl doll and the 9-tailed celestial fox, His power became even more terrifying. Here it comes, here it comes. This power makes even me feel afraid. And Yuan Kuei's voice carried a hint of excitement. He felt he could unleash an unprecedented strike. Just as the fused magic was about to blast out, he suddenly felt the elemental power in his body continuously draining away. What's going on? And Yuan Kuei was stunned and abruptly looked at the Snow Girl doll and the nine-tailed celestial fox. His elemental power was being snatched back by them. What's wrong? Lin Xiao didn't know what was happening, but he could feel in Yuan Kuei's power rapidly weakening. So he couldn't help but ask. The elemental power inside me was sucked away by the two of them. What's going on? This shouldn't happen. And Yuan Kuei panicked. This was the first time he had encountered such a situation. Ha! Lin Xiao was also surprised. Master, it might be because his control over the elements is inferior to ours, which is why this phenomenon occurred. The Snow Girl doll explained. My control over the elements is inferior to yours? And Yuan Kuei widened his eyes, feeling this was the funniest joke he had ever heard in his life. He was a mage and he controlled 4 types of elemental power. How could he possibly be inferior to 2 summoned beasts? It seems so. The nine-tailed celestial fox, feeling the enhanced elemental power within her, said, It's all right. We'll just take over his work. Having said that, the 7 types of elemental power quickly fused. This was the first time she had fused all the elements she controlled together, resulting in terrifying power. The Snow Girl doll also displayed her extreme freezing power and launched an attack on Giant Spirit, Bulu. On Qin Chuan's side, he currently appeared to be standing in a starry sky, with the power of the stars converging on his red dragon, which then unleashed a devastating blow. Boom! The 3 intense attacks struck simultaneously, powerful enough to shatter everything. Giant Spirit, Bulu's remaining 3 black pillars also shattered. Not only that, but its entire body was annihilated as well. Chapter 308. Successfully killed Giant Spirit, Bulu, Abyss Boss. EXP plus 800,000. He obtained Blood of Filth, Material, *1. Bulu's Greatsword, Weapon a Legendary, *1. Contaminated Black Mud, Material, *10. With the 4 of them working together, Giant Spirit of Bulu was finally successfully killed. Got it! Seeing the obtained materials, Lin Xiao couldn't help but feel happy. One of the materials needed for the Human Demon Secret Potion had been successfully obtained. The rewards are decent. This Abyss dungeon can be considered easy. Sikong glanced at the rewards obtained and was also very satisfied. Carrying 3 people before was what you call painful. It's much more enjoyable teaming up with you guys. Clearing the dungeon is a breeze. Why do you look like your wife ran off with someone else? Are the rewards you received too bad? Seeing in Yuan Kuei's depressed expression, Sikong couldn't help but ask. He was practically on the verge of crouching in a corner and drawing circles. Qin Chuan heard this and explained, Him? His prized talent ability isn't as good as Lin Xiao's 2 summoned beasts, so he's feeling depressed right now. Huh? Ah! Sikong was stunned for a moment, recalling the final scene of killing Giant Spirit, Bulu. It really didn't seem like it was Yuan Kuei who dealt the blow. Ha ha ha! Sikong burst into laughter, patting Yuan Kuei on the shoulder. You claim to be the strongest mage, yet you're not as good as someone else's 2 summoned beasts? That can't be right. And Yuan Kuei was instantly enraged. He raised his hand and punched the mocking guy. Come on, let's have a fight. Ha ha ha. The only response he got was Sikong's laughter. Angered, Yuan Kuei punched him again, then turned to ask Lin Xiao, Why can your 2 summoned beasts steal my elemental power? This is impossible. Their levels aren't even as high as mine. Actually, Lin Xiao didn't know what was going on either, but combining it with what the Snow Girl doll had said earlier, he offered an explanation. It might be because my Snow Girl doll has an ultimate attribute. After all, she has several ice-type talents, so her control over ice elements is stronger than yours. Several ice-type talents? And Yuan Kuei was stunned. Thinking about the ice-type abilities the Snow Girl doll had displayed, They were indeed the strongest he had ever seen. They must have reached the extreme. What about the nine-tailed fox? She can't possibly be an ultimate attribute too, right? He had seen with his own eyes that the nine-tailed fox could wield multiple attributes. The nine-tailed celestial fox also has the ability of elemental fusion. Perhaps it's because she has mastered the fusion of 7 elements, while you only have 4, which is why. Before Lin Xiao could finish speaking, he saw An Yuan-Kuei crouching in the corner drawing circles. Seeing An Yuan-Kuei take another blow, Sikong gave Lin Xiao a thumbs up. Successfully cleared the dungeon. Netherworld Train. Dungeon mission not yet completed. You may choose to continue or leave the dungeon. The prompt sounded, and Sikong looked at the group. Should we continue? What comes next is the unknown situation of the dungeon. Regarding the Netherworld Train dungeon, they had some understanding before entering, but after triggering the dungeon mission, the heavenly realm they were about to head to was a foreign land to them. The danger level was very high. Continue, Qin Chuan said calmly. I also want to go see the heavenly realm. Lin Xiao didn't intend to leave just like that, curious about what the heavenly realm looked like. All right, then let's go to the heavenly realm and see. Perhaps there will be unexpected gains. Seeing that everyone agreed, Sikong made the final decision. Afterwards, he raised a worrying question. The dungeon boss has been killed, but the dungeon characteristics of the Netherworld Train have not disappeared. We don't know how far we are from the heavenly realm, and that ghost mist will likely swallow us. You all need to be prepared in advance. Hearing this, Lin Xiao looked at the ghost mist gradually approaching from behind and immediately took out the crystal that Sikong and the others had given him before boarding the train. I haven't used this crystal yet. It should be able to support us until we reach the station. Once we reach the station, there might be other ways, Lin Xiao said. Station? What station? Qin Chuan asked curiously. The train will temporarily stop at Aiden Station. At that time, the train will load cargo and some personnel. Lin Xiao roughly explained the situation he had discovered, causing Qin Chuan and Sikong to frown. A moment later, Sikong spoke. Perhaps this dungeon mission is to make the train retrace the path of the past, instead of heading towards the abyss netherworld. So the heavenly realm has actually disappeared, and I am just returning to the past now? Qin Chuan roughly understood what Sikong meant. It's not impossible, Sikong nodded. I've been to other abyss dungeons, and they all vaguely describe a war that happened a long time ago. A war? Is it a war concerning us? Qin Chuan asked curiously. No, it's a war outside of our world. And Yuan-Kuei, who had already pulled himself together, said, besides our world, there are other worlds, big and small. You'll know when you go down into the dungeons. You can see many things you've never seen before. This heavenly realm should also be something from outside our world. We'll know once we get there. Among the 4, and Yuan-Kuei had the highest level and had completed many dungeons, so he certainly knew more than Qin Chuan and Sikong. As for Lin Xiao, he had already had his own guesses. War and destruction. Could it be that there was war everywhere at that time? Lin Xiao thought of the sanctuary, which had also participated in the war and ultimately lost. To have lost even with so many gods. It was unimaginable what kind of war that must have been. Lin Xiao handed the crystal to Sikong, telling him to use it according to the situation, and then asked, Are you going to go inside the carriage? We can still go in? I was able to come out from inside, so why can't you go in? He was currently the train conductor acting, so letting them into the carriage was just a matter of saying the word. As soon as Lin Xiao returned to the train, he received a notification about the train's damage. The damage level had already reached 30%. Fighting giant spirit, Bulu knocked out 20% at once. It's a good thing there aren't many bosses like that, otherwise, I don't think it would make it to the heavenly realm. With 70% damage remaining, it should be able to make it to the heavenly realm. Perhaps it could also be repaired when the train stops at the station. Successfully cleared the train's filth. Obtained. Universal parts. Material. *10. Energy gasoline. Consumable. *10. Hearing that the train mission was completed, Lin Xiao didn't even want to complain anymore. It was more materials and consumables he couldn't use. Aiden Station. At this moment, many people were busy transporting cargo, and one could even see many large cranes stacking giant wooden crates together. Hey, be gentle. If it explodes, we're all finished, a foreman scolded angrily. At this moment, a man in a suit came up to the foreman and said, "Are the things ready?" "Hee hee. Everything is ready. Not a single piece missing." The foreman, who had been fierce just a moment ago, changed his expression completely and said with a smile, "As long as it's ready." The man looked at his watch and frowned. "It's late. Has it been delayed again?" "Manager, the train has to pass through the Black Sea. Could something have happened there? After all, war is constant right now." "Shut your stinking mouth. The train is the crystallization of technology from the heavenly realm. How could it?" Woo woo woo. Before he could finish his sentence, the sound of the train's whistle came from afar. Seeing the train appear, the man immediately breathed a sigh of relief. "Prepare to load the cargo."